When the Heart Association was looking for a sponsorship chair, they knew they didn't want somebody meek, but they got a Mencken. Meet her, coming up next on Carolina People. Good morning. Welcome to Carolina People. This morning we're at Beach First Center on the corner of 38th and Grissom Parkway. We're focused on the 13th Annual American Heart Ball. And we're visiting with Renee Mencken, the sponsorship chair. Good morning, Renee.
Good morning.
Thanks so much for being with us this morning. What about this amazing facility?
It's great.
Did you have a chance to check it out this morning?
I did. I actually rode to the third floor by accident, so I stepped out there. It's very nice. Yeah.
This is beautiful up in their administrative offices, and to get a feel, and obviously to have Walt with us earlier this morning to welcome everybody. And, of course, also Martin Luther King Jr. Day, celebrating Martin Luther King Jr. Day, which is a real treat. So welcome to everybody. Yeah. The gala's getting close.
It is. February 17th.
Right.
So it's coming up on us.
Right over a month from now.
Yes.
And there's still, I understand, both still ticket opportunities as well as sponsorship opportunities.
We are only at 50% of our goal for sponsorship opportunities, and so we have a ways to go.
Right. And a lot of folks can still take advantage of some tremendous sponsorship opportunities.
Absolutely. When you sponsor a table or several tables, at any level, there are advertising perks.
Right.
You have ads in the programs, the mailings that go out.
Right.
There are two very large mailings that go to 1,000 guests and sponsors. And depending on your sponsorship level, whether it be corporate, silver, bronze, emerald,
Platinum, diamond, there's
that's
lots
right,
of
that's right.
Yeah.
Or the presenting sponsor.
Sure.
I think it's a little late for the presenting sponsor. But you have either a quarter-page ad, half-page ad, or full-size ad.
Right.
So
I think I saw even one, the
great
Emerald sponsor.
opportunity.
Yeah, all of them have benefits on that evening.
That's right.
Which is a tremendous opportunity the evening of when you've got 1,000 folks there in the room.
And people notice, they take notice who has tables and who doesn't.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Oh, yeah. And, of course, you're handed that book when you check in.
Yes.
There at...
They mail it to you in advance also.
Yeah.
And then
Okay.
you're handed that day. And then also on your table,
Right.
There's a sign on your table. And there are signs throughout the gala with the sponsorship levels.
This sounds like a must-attend event. Right?
Absolutely. 1,000 people.
Yeah.
I mean, it's huge. It's the event of Myrtle Beach for the year.
Oh, it is, very definitely. Of course, when you think about events in Myrtle, they've got the Conway Medical Center Foundation Gala, which will be January 27th.
Yes.
Coming up soon. That's about 400 folks. Jessica Sasser will be with us later this week to talk about that. Obviously, there's a ton of events. Of course, the Brook Green Gardens, their annual gala, which raises a lot of money, but nothing to fight the #1 and #3 killer in America.
That's right. It is the #1 birth defect. Heart disease is the
Is
number
it
one.
really?
Yes, heart defects are the #1 birth defect for children, and it's the #1 killer in children. 1 in 2 women will die from heart disease.
Is that
50%.
right?
So either you know someone, either you directly are affected, or you know someone who is or will be affected.
By cardiovascular disease, by heart disease, and of course strokes really impact a lot of folks
It's the
as well.
#3 cause of death in the United States.
Golly.
Yeah. So this is an extremely important cause, and the Heart Association works very hard at promoting good health behaviors. They have educational programs on healthy heart living, and they also work with Clemson University and USC and the Medical University of South Carolina doing research projects to figure out what's causing this and how can we prevent it, and it's just a wonderful cause. I definitely worthwhile.
And of course, a lot of those great facts and figures are provided for folks who may not have known about the sponsorship opportunities.
Right.
These packets that are here in front of you, Renee, can be sent out to potential sponsors. If anyone is interested in possibly sponsoring, they could still call, and the phone number?
Absolutely. The phone number is 626-3939.
Okay.
If anybody's received one of these in the mail or somebody's hand-delivered it, they should consider it because it's absolutely a good cause. And it's not too late. If you haven't received one and you want to go to the #1 event in Myrtle Beach, it's a black tie event. It's lots of fun. They starts off with a cocktail hour and a silent auction, and it's just fun shopping. It's a reason to go shopping, and Then you sit down for dinner. It's a very nice dinner. This year's at Kingston Plantation, and they are just putting on the menu. Just looks fabulous.
Oh, it does,
And then they'll move on to a live auction with some just amazing auction items there, too. Great opportunities. And last, dancing and fun.
Oh, yeah.
So
Jumpstart, I hear, this year.
Yes, Jumpstart, and they're great.
They had Jumpstart last year, and for years, groups like Chairman of the Board and other major bands, and of course you've seen folks just tear into the floor early on last year, and I think it was an immediate unanimous support to get them back again this year. They'd been at the gala 5 or 6 years ago and hadn't been around since, I think it was at the Kingston maybe 5 years ago.
Yeah.
It was at the Radisson for a year, now the Sheridan, and then at Marriott for 3 years, and thought they needed a new change of venue.
Right.
The opportunity to be back at Kingston.
Kingston
Tremendous.
does a fabulous job. I mean, there are lots of black tie galas held at Kingston Plantation. They do a fabulous job.
Right, they
I'm
do.
excited. I think it'll be great. It's a great time.
Hey, about yourself, are you originally from the area?
I'm originally from Pennsylvania. I was born
really?
and raised in central Pennsylvania, in a very small town.
What brought you to the Horry County, Myrtle Beach area?
My family vacationed here every year, and in between, I moved to Boston and lived there for a year, and it was so cold.
Oh, yeah.
I decided I wanted to move farther south and just applied to Grand Strand Hospital. I'm a mammography technologist, and they called me a week later, and I moved.
A mammography technologist?
Yes.
What is that?
I
That sounds a little fancy.
Take mammograms,
Uh-huh. Okay, yeah.
which are very important.
Yes,
Very
absolutely.
And I worked with Grand Strand Hospital for several years, and then opened the Calabash Imaging Center for Loris Hospital, where we did mammography and x-rays, and went back to Grand Strand Hospital for about a year, and then I had my daughter, Grace, my first child, and decided to stay at home.
Uh-huh. Yes, yes. And Grace is not your only child.
No, Grace is 6 now, and she has a brother, Luke, that's 5. They're 11 and a half months apart.
Oh, wow.
They actually had the same due date. And
Oh,
then,
come on,
yes,
Renee.
they did.
They're-
They did. Yeah.
Is that right? Yeah.
He came during her first birthday party. I went into labor during her first birthday party. We had it early so he wouldn't be here, and
Is
he
that
decided he was
right?
coming to the party. And then Elijah, I have Elijah. He's 2 years old.
Oh, wow,
He
that's
just turned 2,
great.
so,
3
yeah.
children. Boy, you must stay busy, Renee.
Yes.
Particularly this morning at 7. I guess Scott is, your husband is subbing in for you now.
He sure is. Yes.
Yeah, crazy time.
He's good. He has to step in every now and then.
That's right. That's right.
So-
Well, hopefully he is tuning in to catch you here. And it's amazing, when you think about 3 children. I'm the middle of 3, and I know how active my mother was trying to keep up with 3 boys. Of course, having a daughter there to lead the front.
Yes.
And I think I saw you've been real active on Fridays there at Lakewood Elementary.
Yes, I go drop Grace off at 7:30 in the morning, and then head to drop my boys off at 8, and straight from there I go back to Lakewood and spend the entire day until about 2:30.
What's that like? And you're working with Grace and all the kids?
All
or
the
just-
kids in her class and helping her teacher. It's just a tremendous amount of work for those
Oh, yeah.
teachers. And so I go in and unload the children's backpacks and staple papers and put them back in the backpacks, and help with some testing, the children, or just special projects.
Right. In Lakewood, down there between 544 and 7, I mean, a great location there.
Yes.
Probably a school a lot of folks don't even know about.
It's a great school. It's kindergarten through 5th grade.
Right.
And great principal, Mr. Rex, Tom Rex. And it's just, I can't say enough nice things about the school.
Mm-hmm.
Love the school. It's a small school. We have 5 kindergarten classes. It's great.
Remember, I heard you talking about a couple of the teachers there that are...
We have Miss Collins and Miss Baskins, and I just adore them. They are wonderful. They've been teaching together for 25 years.
Oh, come on.
And this was the biggest step for us to put for our daughter to go to kindergarten. We had checked into every school in the county, and then other counties as well. And I just couldn't be happier. They are a wonderful team. They're great. And I think that's the case with most of the teachers at Lakewood.
And
if not all of them.
is it common that teachers will tag team?
For kindergarten.
Right.
They tag team for kindergarten, and then they're on their own in first grade on.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
That is great. And these two have been teaching together for 25 years.
Yes.
All at Lakewood?
Yes.
No way.
Yes.
That is amazing. They
Yeah.
must be able to finish each other's sentences regularly.
Absolutely. They're like a married couple.
Is that right?
They've been together longer than a lot of married couples.
Oh, yeah,
most married
yeah.
couples, so.
That is fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
That is fascinating. I think I saw also you're very active with your son's school. and
Yes,
some role.
I'm the chairman of the Parents Association for the Growing Tree preschool, And last year I was the chairman of Freaky Friday. I don't know if you've heard of that, but it's
No.
a large fundraiser for our preschool. And it's
Growing Tree.
The Growing Tree
Uh-huh.
at the First Presbyterian Church.
Oh, yeah, great.
And then this year also I was very involved with the Freaky Friday. Last year we raised $26,000
Oh, come on.
in one night for the preschool.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
26,000 in one night?
Yes.
What y'all do to raise 26,000?
Auction.
Is
We
that
have
right?
a silent auction.
Well, you know, Todd Harms was with us on Friday, just a couple of days ago, who's now the co-chair of the
Yes.
Heart Ball this year. And, of course, he'd been the auction chair for many years. I'm surprised he hadn't recruited you for auction
he
as
is
opposed
a very, very good sport. He
Oh, yeah.
was actually in the tunnel. We also have a tunnel that we decorate under the church.
Oh, Freaky Friday's
Freaky
the Halloween
Friday,
thing.
yes.
Yeah,
and
I
he
get it.
was under the tunnel, in the tunnel with me this year. He was Captain Hook. So
Oh, he was?
Yes, dressed like Captain Hook. So.
Oh, that's right. Of course, in McLaren I saw him. That's right.
Yes.
And his wife was helping him out that night.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's a fun night, and it's a fun night. It's a great night.
Yeah, yeah.
And a
they-
good cause, because, you know, to put those dollars back into education. as
I
well.
know, that's right. And you really decorated. I understand, I think Todd pumps you up all the time as you were the one who decorated that hall underneath the sanctuary.
tunnel, yes.
The tunnel,
Yes.
excuse me.
Yes.
The tunnel, that's right. And it became much more than a tunnel that evening. It
Yes.
was amazing. Well,
I
congratulations.
get my inspirations through Disney. We traveled
Uh-huh.
to Disney and several times last year and several times the year before trying to get ideas. So.
Yes, yes. Well, obviously, with your interest in medicine, and I know you didn't mention, but I think we had talked about it before we began this morning. Your husband Scott's a radiologist,
Yes.
and very active. And I know his partnership, Carolina Radiology's come in as a great sponsor of the event. Thank you again for soliciting those dollars. But it's amazing when you think about from a medical perspective, particularly someone who'd been involved with mammographies and remain involved, to see the impact that an event like this. I think you said. 3 schools are principally involved in research in South Carolina, but $4
Yes.
million were raised last year, and of that $4 million, $2.5 million, $2.4 million was reinvested back into those 3 schools involved in research into some of the things that have come about in the past. So many amazing things, AEDs and CPR training, some of those special situations that truly have been evolved from the support of raising dollars to go into research.
Absolutely. The majority of the money goes back into research and patient education.
Right, right.
So.
You broke down a little bit about the evening. Before we get back into the evening, I want to get back into that again, some sponsorship opportunities that are still available. What are some of the levels if a viewer was watching or is watching and may not be able themselves to sign up for a corporate sponsorship, but knows that their office or their place of employment could possibly come in? What are some of the potential dollar amounts that a viewer would be thinking about?
There are several different levels. The first being a bronze allows you to have 4 tickets for the evening, a quarter-page ad in the program, and the value of that is $1,250.
Okay.
The next is a corporate table, and that corporate, and I would say corporate is the most popular in
Right.
bronze. Corporate is $2,750,
Right.
and it allows you to have 10 tickets to the event, so that's an entire table.
Oh, great. Yeah.
And a quarter-page ad.
Mm-hmm.
The next level would be a silver, and that is $3,750. That's 12 tickets and a third-page ad.
Right.
Then you can move up to a gold, which is $5,500. 16 tickets, so 2
Wow,
tables. You
yeah.
can break it into 2 tables, and a half-page ad. It
of course,
is.
Some tremendous benefits there for those. You know, folks think, how the heck could I pay $5,500 to get 16 tickets? Well, as you talked about earlier, it's a lot more than that.
Right.
The TV spot, having your
Right.
logo on TV spots that go out to all the TV and cable systems, all the TV stations, the 4 TV stations, the 2 major cable systems
And it
in the
is tax
county.
deductible as well.
Absolutely.
So-
Absolutely.
Anybody looking for those tax deductions?
That's a very good
great.
point.
And there's larger sponsorships available too. An Emerald sponsor, $7,500.
Right.
But 20 tickets and lots of marketing benefits.
Tremendous benefit with
Yes.
that sponsorship, of which we have one already.
Yes, we
I'm
have
aware of
one,
that
the Myrtle
one.
Beach
Let's see where
Herald.
that is. That's right. Yeah.
Right now, we do not have any platinum sponsors, so we're looking for a platinum sponsor. That's $10,000, 24 tickets,
Right.
and lots of marketing benefits. Now we're running a little bit short on time for that,
Sure.
as far as having all of those benefits. fulfilled because of printing obligations
Sure,
and stuff.
absolutely.
A diamond sponsor at $15,000. We don't have any of those at this
yet,
point.
not
And
yet.
a presenting sponsor, which is Understanding Corporation.
Yes, the Chapel Hill-based a technology company, which is tremendous having them involved.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Tremendous.
And
And
this
of
is the
course,
first year.
and I'm glad you mentioned that there's still, even though they may not be able to get all the benefits there, a lot of folks, like the Understanding Corporation, how many potential sales they can make in this area is potentially very limited. But what they can do is absolutely, as you said, get a tremendous tax deduction, but they can make a splash in the community in
Right.
front of 1,000 folks, mostly business owners. As you know, I saw in here, I was amazed by the facts and figures, the average age of 45 and the average income, one of those facts and figures, and there was tremendous of the crowd to know that they're there oftentimes cutting big checks for auction items. But knowing that many of them got in the room by cutting sizable checks, not just to
And
get in the room,
a
but
lot
to
of the companies send their head administration
Right,
folks.
right.
So, I mean, there are definitely who's who of Myrtle Beach.
Absolutely, absolutely. So it's not just companies like Understanding Corporation, startup companies
Right.
that see it as a real inroad, but also very established companies like Grand
Right.
Strand Regional Medical Center and Conway Medical Center and
Even
Morris and
Georgetown.
Georgetown
Yeah.
Memorial Hospital has come in, I think, at $5,500,
Yes.
which is a tremendous dollar. Century 21 Bowling in at
Yeah.
that amount, and a couple of others that are in at that very significant $5,500 level.
Yeah.
But they're not making those decisions only to attend the event. In many ways, it's for much of the marketing you talked about, as well as just doing the right thing.
Right. Absolutely.
Doing the right thing. You know, when you think about, let's get into the evening itself. You started to break that down for folks who haven't attended in the past. If they can't get in through a sponsorship, if they don't plan on buying more than a handful of tickets, if they were just wanted to come as a couple, some of the opportunities there are the excitement of it being 3 days after Valentine's.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And an individual ticket is $175.
Okay, great.
Or a benefactor ticket, $200. The more you pay, the closer you get to sit to the front, of course. So the presenting
yeah.
sponsors get this right in front of the stage.
Right.
And you move backwards. You know, the silver, the gold, and the silver, and then the corporate tables, and then of course the bronze, and then the
Right.
individual ticket sales are behind that. But no matter where you are in the room, I think it's going to be a happening place.
It is a great
for sure.
deal, yeah.
Our goal this year is $395,000.
Wow,
Which
that's
is amazing.
That's a big goal there, Renee.
Yes, 220 of it coming from sponsorships.
Right, yes.
And again, we're
yes.
only about halfway there at this point. But the other part of that is the auction, which is just so much fun. We're hoping to have over $100,000 of items.
Yes.
In fact, probably closer to the next number up.
Right, right.
For auctions, or for items for the auction.
Sure,
So
sure.
it's so much fun going around and bidding on things, and
Yeah.
again, tax deductible.
Absolutely. And again, for folks who haven't attended in the past, 626-3939 is the
Yes.
best number to call.
Yes.
That's to get sponsorship packets, as well as to even inquire about tickets.
Yes.
I think tickets go on sale the end of this week. The end of this week, I think the 18th or 19th, and a lot of the invitations are going out to past sponsors and past donors. I think they're going out this week if they haven't already gone out. The goal, of course, to get them out within a month of the event on February 17th, and to
Right.
know, but also that Valentine opportunity, for folks who don't have Valentine plans,
Right,
who
and
may
it's
want
through
to
the
look
week.
at it.
Valentine's Day is through the week.
That's
I mean, a lot of
exactly
people are
right.
too busy to celebrate.
That's
And I think
exactly
the centerpieces are going to be red, and we're really going to play up the Valentine's Day.
Yes,
So
yes.
definitely a good date night.
Yes, yes, for folks who need to look for dates and
Yeah.
opportunities like that. It's but again, the evening for folks who haven't attended, when you talk about some of the auction items, they're silent auction, and you've got, as you said, about 100,000 that's expected to be raised. That's one big room full of items from. What are some of the items in the past that you can remember that particularly stand out in your mind? Are there any that you and Scott have bid heavily on? Wine parties for 20. I think last year there was a 76 Caddy convertible.
Yes, we
that
have
was
actually
auctioned
bid
off.
on private chefs coming into our home, and we've
Yeah.
had 2 dinner parties that way. Those are usually in the live auction, I believe.
Right, some of them are.
Right,
Yeah,
some of
yeah.
them. And trips. There
Yeah.
are trips, and just small items. A lot of people step up to the plate. A lot of the businesses in the community donate
Right.
items for the auction, which, I mean, that's how we get the items. So
Oh, yeah.
pretty much home interior items,
Right.
baby items. I mean, it's an endless, I mean, you could find anything
That's
you're
right.
looking for.
You really can.
Yeah.
I remember about
Because all
5 years
businesses
ago, I was bidding against somebody, and I have attended the gala a couple times in the past. It's a popular event, but for some Britney Spears boots, some boots that she'd worn and signed, and actually I won the bidding, but someone wanted them so badly for his daughter that I later sold them to his daughter as long as the donation went back to the Art Association. So it's amazing to see.
Another item that we're going to have this year, Todd Harms just told me about it today, is you get to go to the White House and have lunch with Henry Brown, and then have a private tour of the White House. And they're trying to get a flag, the flag that was flown that day, that particular day, whichever day you go,
Yeah.
so that you could take the flag home.
Oh,
So
you're
you can
kidding.
go to the White House, have lunch with Henry Brown, and then have a private tour of the White House.
That is tremendous.
Definitely, I mean, you can't buy that opportunity
No,
necessarily unless you
absolutely.
come to this event and bid on
We
the
need to
opportunity.
get
And we
to-
have other things like that you couldn't just go to a store and buy.
Right, right.
So-
There are a lot of things, a lot of folks that will donate, and they're doing it oftentimes for no benefit. They're not
Right.
getting tickets or
Right.
anything. I mean, they're doing it purely to get their items in front of 1,000 folks,
Right.
or just because it is helping fight the number 1 and number 3 killer in the world.
Right.
Which is a tremendous opportunity. And of course, the great food you talked about being at Kingston Plantation. I wish I could remember those items. They've got a great looking menu. I remember the lobster ravioli right in the beginning
Yes,
of the entree,
and there's a
fillet and
salmon.
something and salmon.
Yes,
That's right.
yes,
Listen to that, Renee.
yes.
You studied your notes there.
And the salad, I think, had the gorgonzola cheese and maybe walnuts and cranberries or
Oh
something like that.
wow!
It
Something
sounds
stuck
fabulous.
in your head. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's,
And I don't remember the dessert. Hopefully a chocolate dessert. But
aha! We'll have to have a talk with the chef if
Yeah,
it's not.
that's right.
And of course, on an evening like that, when you break down the entire evening, folks think, how could I go somewhere and sit around for 6 hours? But if you've been, as you said, if you've been in the past, the time flies.
Yes, yes. And you're not sitting in a seat for 6 hours.
Right.
You know, you're wandering around for the cocktail hour, then you're having dinner, and then you're dancing or bidding. You're not in one location talking to the same person for 6 hours. I mean, there are 1,000 people that you can mingle with and talk
Right,
to.
Renee.
So,
I think you started to highlight some of those facts and figures. A lot of folks lose track of that. They know that heart disease, cardiovascular disease, is the number 1 killer.
that's right.
That strokes are the number 3 taker of lives.
Right.
But some of the other facts and figures you were talking about to really drive
The number
home-
1 birth defect.
Golly.
The number 1 cause of death in children, which just is amazing to me. The 1 in 2 women will die from heart disease.
1 in 2
And
women.
it's 1 in 26 women die from breast cancer. And you think of that as being the main
Right, right.
killer, but it's 1 in 2 women will die from heart disease.
That's incredible, Renee. That is incredible.
And tons of, lots and lots of people in South Carolina are affected. I mean,
Right.
somebody you know is or will be affected.
Mm-hmm. I think
Guaranteed.
it was it more than 100,000 persons die annually from heart disease. It may
Yes.
have even been significantly more than that.
And
It was
strokes is the number 1 cause of a disability.
disability. That's
Mhm.
right.
Yeah. I think that, look here.
Yeah, please pull those out.
Um,
Stroke's the leading cause, as you said, of serious disability.
Yes, yes. And
Even if someone hasn't sponsored, just to sponsor to get these facts and figures are so great that are in the sponsor proposal
absolutely,
package.
absolutely, absolutely. Oh, it says every 35 seconds someone will die from cardiovascular disease. I mean, that's just amazing. And every second somebody will suffer a stroke. Every 3 seconds somebody will
Wow.
die. So it's pretty amazing.
That is. Renee, thanks so much for being with us this morning. Thanks so much for being the sponsorship chair this year.
Thank you for having me here. I enjoyed it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Stay tuned to more Carolina People with Renee Mencken coming up next. You heard her say it, every 35 seconds someone dies of heart disease. Every 3 minutes someone dies of a stroke. 1 in 2 women's lives will be taken by heart disease. This is the event to attend to be a part of helping to fight that. The Heart Ball, February 17th, 6 to midnight, Kingston Plantation. You can still get tickets or sign up as a sponsor. The phone number is simple, 626-3939, 626-3939. Make that call. Be a part of helping fight heart disease and stroke.